Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are going to be jumping down into the world of Zilliqa once again to see what's been going on with the price action and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community, talking crypto 24/7. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find, so why not check it out? It's completely free to join. As I said, links in the description. Right, let's jump down into this, right? So on the hourly chart, we are paired up with USDT, and we are using Binance as our data source. Now, as you can see, we have a really choppy kind of correction going on here, which is really actually quite an interesting one to kind of watch play out a little bit. This is an interesting play here because Zilliqa seems to be the gift that just keeps on giving at the moment, specifically from a trader's perspective. If you're trading something like this, it's giving you some fantastic opportunities. If you're hodling, obviously there's some fantastic opportunities as well to continue to build positions, but I think there's a bigger correction coming from maybe DCAing and stuff like that. So one interesting kind of stuff to kind of watch out for. But I'm going to dive into what happened yesterday, what we're able to take advantage of, and what is going on right now. So the stochastic RSI on our hourly chart is rising quite nicely, and it's rising without doing too much price movement. Okay, so if I throw the volumes on here, we can see that basically as we move the price up, the volume is decreasing. That basically means that the stochastic RSI can move faster to the upside, becomes overbought quickly without actually making any decent price discovery or recovery. Knowing this means that the sentiment for Zilliqa right now is sell, not buy. Okay, so we want to be mindful that actually the price is more than likely going to pull back down as we approach this overbought area. We should have some kind of correction, right? But there are a couple of caveats to this. We need to check the additional levels. We've got 4-hour stochastic RSI completely oversold. We have an 8-hour stochastic RSI completely oversold. We have a daily stochastic RSI that is coming down from the overbought area. So we can see there's correction right here, and we're entering into a bit of a zone I had marked out, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So essentially we are moving quite progressively. Now our weekly stochastic RSI is almost overbought, but it's not overbought just yet. Okay, so all of that coupled together tells us a couple of different things. Okay, so we're just going to focus in on this daily chart for a second here. So if we review all of this, essentially we've got some interesting kind of levels here, right? We've got 5 waves coming up on our daily chart. Now, all of this could be a single how do I put it? A single wave in itself, right? A wave 1, meaning that there would be some kind of retracement coming down. But I don't think we're necessarily there just yet. Being oversold the way that we are on our 8-hour and 4-hour, it isn't giving us an indication that we're actually, getting ready for a big pullback into a wave 2, for example, because that would be a 50% retracement, and I've spoken about this before, right? Currently trading it, I think, where are we at the moment? The price here is 16.7. So from the high point that we were at 23, we'll be talking about pulling it down to around the 11 or 12 cent range, right? Right around this area here. Now that is the lower end of our spectrum on here, which was a 4th wave. But I think actually if I remove this now, what I can do is give you a bit more of an accurate idea on what I'm thinking. So if we grab hold of this, and then I grab my rectangle, I'll put this, actually it's a little bit lower than expected there, because I guess that low point was quite high. So we will put this here, right? So this yellow box kind of symbolizes the area that I would expect us to pull down into. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we are there yet. There is still potential for a slightly higher surge to the upside in an extended 5th wave. It is possible before we start to see this move. And that's because of the 4-hourly and the 8-hourly stochastic RSI. But this is the kind of correction that we will need to do in order to correct the weekly chart and, of course, correct our daily chart. Okay, as we think about these stochastic RSIs being overbought, we need to pretty significant correction, right? So this is the area, and it's quite a broad one for wave twos. It starts at 50% and it goes down to about 88%. They are quite deep, and it does feel like the rug has been completely pulled from you, and I think this is something that Zilliqa will eventually do. So we should be quite open to the idea of that. Nothing's going to move up in a straight line without significant profits getting taken. You can start to see a little bit of action right here, but this will be nothing in comparison to what will happen eventually. Okay, so I think though, if we think about the smaller time frames, there's going to be a push up before we pull back down. Okay, so we don't talk about leverage, we don't use leverage. I think it's dangerous, it's reckless. But if there are anyone thinking about shorting it, just be mindful the price is moving up before it pulls down, and I'll leave it at that. So let's come down into our 8 hour. Okay, we can start to see a bit of a correction, maybe finishing, and the same with the 4 hour, right? Finishing off a corrective move. So what I'm going to do is on this hourly chart, I'm going to map that out, okay? But we are thinking there's going to be some kind of pullback potentially, but at the same time, we could continue this motion upwards, okay? But I think there's actually a little bit more room to the downside. So what we're going to do is this is potentially a relatively complex corrective move in itself. And we want to be mindful over the different kind of areas and the different kind of patterns that we have forming out here for Zilliqa. So we've got 3 waves coming down, 5 waves going up, for example, and then we've got 3, 3, 3. So it doesn't make a lot of sense is to have the 5 waves in the middle there. So this is either the beginning of something and this is not the end of a move, or we're actually, this is an end of a move up here with the 5 waves, and we're actually continuing down. I think that's probably the correct scenario, right? Because what I would expect would be 3, 3, 5, right? 3 move, 3 moves, 5 moves, or a 3, 3, 3, or something to those effect, right? Or maybe something a little bit more complex. But for now, I think, we can't really count these 5 waves going up. We have to just start from the top and work our way down. Now, what we do have here is, I think if I grab hold of this and I move this to here, just transpose it over here, a rough kind of target we've kind of hit, right? We kind of went down in a larger ABC move, and this would be a 3, 3, 3, right? 3, 3, 3. Sorry, ABC there with a wave 1, 2, and 3, or an ABC with 3 waves inside each of those, right? So we have a 3, 3, 3 wave count, effectively 9 waves, 6 waves are in your A and your C waves, with 3 waves going in the upward direction of our B wave, right? So a little bit complicated and a little bit complex, but essentially we've got 3 waves inside A, we've got 3 waves inside B, and 3 waves inside C. Okay, and now we're starting to see a little bit of a move to the upside. Now, I do think that there's a probable scenario here where we do pull back a little bit, so we want to jump into maybe a 15-minute chart, and just to kind of get an idea as to what is going on here, because it does look like we've got some kind of A wave coming up here and getting completed, right? So if we actually take hold of our stochastic RSI here, and we were to move this over, sorry, our Fibonacci retracement tool, and then we were to say, okay, well, it looks like we are probably going for, we're right now, heading up into this higher range, 17.1. Seems like a probable area for reversal. Then we'll have some kind of pullback. Okay, and this essentially would just be A. Okay, then we have some kind of B, and then we have some kind of C, right? And then it's possible that goes impulsive, right? And it goes absolutely nuts and all that kind of good stuff. So, and we'll be mindful over what is going on. Just because this stochastic RSI is high doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to see some gains or anything like that. Okay, we can start to see this thing is moving quite nicely. The macro trends are going to win overall, and we need to see these two actually do something much more. So I'm mindful over what's going to happen here. I would expect some kind of retracement before a bigger surge upwards though, and I would expect it to be relatively deep. Okay, so for what I'm thinking here for Zilliqa is a push up before we start to go back down, as I said earlier. And again, I'm thinking that we should hit towards the new all-time high. That's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of this next move up, and I think that will pretty much then tap out Zilliqa at that point. So just to be mindful, and that's what I'm thinking. If of course we lose the structure of that and we just continue to run down, we already have our low wave targets anyway, and again they are pretty deep here. If I come down, we are talking basically about 8.7 cent all the way down to as low as 4.1, right? It sounds absolutely crazy. It sounds unrealistic at this point, But trust me, wave 2s catch a lot of people out of off guard because they are so severe. They are so deep. People just think that no, it's all over. That was it, done. And then you get this complete rally afterwards. This huge wave 3 that just blasts people out of the water. Catches a lot of people out. But do just be mindful that those are the level of corrections that Elliott wave theory would indicate to us for wave 2 corrections, right? Doesn't mean it's a guarantee, doesn't mean you're definitely going down there, but that's what you would expect for a wave 2, okay? So guys, I'm going to leave the video there, kind of a brief update with what I think is going on here with Zil, what I expect to happen next, both short and medium term. So if you have found it useful, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.